Okay, let me begin with a word of greeting from Kiribati in the Central Pacific. Kiribati is one of the smaller members of the Commonwealth with a population of around 120,000 people. It is located in the Central Pacific Ocean, comprising of 33 atoll islands with a total land area of just over 800 square kilometers, scattered over 3.5 million square kilometers of exclusive economic zone, and straddling both. Such, our people are blessed with clean, unpolluted air. They enjoy clear blue skies during the day and bright starlit skies during the night. Yes, our contribution to air pollution is negligible, as would also be the case for most, if not all, of the Pacific Island countries in our part of the world. Yet, our current struggles and the challenges we face with the impacts of climate change pays no regard to the fact that we make negligible contribution to greenhouse gas emissions. However, we must not make the same mistake when we stood by idly whilst corporate decisions were being made in boardrooms in New York, London, or Tokyo. Decisions which now place the future survival of our people and nations in serious jeopardy. The effectiveness of the campaign launched initially by the small island states against climate change clearly demonstrates our capacity to influence global agenda on issues of critical importance to us. As a bloc, the member countries of the Commonwealth made a very firm commitment at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta in 2015, prior to the Paris meeting. And that commitment was to take firm action on climate change, which resulted in very solid action coming into the Paris discussions in 2015. I have no doubt at all that that solidarity within the Commonwealth contributed significantly to the successful conclusion of the 2015 Paris Agreement. Let us once again rally together to take firm action against air pollution. Okay, David?
Hi, Anote. Thank you very much for that. I think one of the important things that you mentioned is that the small island states are not significant contributors to greenhouse gas emissions, but they are certainly the first in line to suffer the effects of climate change. And I think the leadership by countries, by those countries, to be at the front of the decision-making process is crucial. So even though they're not major contributors, they need to start taking action on that front. What do you think are some of the challenges for SIDS, particularly in the Pacific, in aligning the air pollution and climate change the debates?
They're one and the same, David. What is happening on climate change, we must not allow to happen with air pollution. I think we were under the misunderstanding that what was taking place on the other side of the world has no significance to us now on the other side of the world. We were so wrong. But I think we learned this very late. And so I think the lesson that we can draw is no matter how small, insignificant, or irrelevant we might believe ourselves to be on issues of critical importance to our future, we need to think we have done that. And the point that I want to make is let's not wait for things to get really bad before we start doing anything about it. I think the lesson that we've learned with the impacts of climate change, which we are experiencing, is a powerful lesson to be learned. And I think we want to share this experience, this bad experience, so that we don't ever make the same mistakes again.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's crucial. And I think the Commonwealth stands at a unique juncture today. It has the opportunity for providing climate leadership in a way that was not present to it previously. It must take, I believe,
Right.
advantage of the opportunity ahead of CHOGM and ahead of COP26 to do so. Do you think that the small island states should lead that charge?
Well, I think we've, as I said, we've learned our lessons, and so we've tried to take control of our future because nobody else was going to do it for us. And what happened in the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Malta in 2015 was it presented a solidarity that's never been done previously to the COP meeting in 2015 in Paris. There is no doubt at all in my mind that made a very significant contribution to the successful conclusion of that agreement. And so we can do it. It can be done. It has been done. And so we must not undermine our capacity to influence, no matter how small we might be, to influence the global agenda.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I think another example that I can refer to is, another example is in the ocean area, because many of the Commonwealth small island states are have huge oceans, large ocean states. And therefore, their contribution to that discussion and the subsequent placement of the oceans on the SDG agenda was a major contribution of the small island states, most of whom are actually members of the Commonwealth. So the Commonwealth has that capacity because it's virtually a mini United Nations, okay? It's with its membership coming from different regions of the world. And so it has that distinction, it has that unique position and power. And therefore, I believe we must utilize that to the fullest.
Yeah, I completely agree. One final question, Anote. Green recovery and the transition to green economies is often lauded as the way for small island states to go. So they have abundant sunshine, they have wind, they even have geothermal forms of energy, particularly in the Ring of Fire in the Pacific. But it's proving a challenge for countries to move in that direction. What is one of the main concerns, or what is preventing a more rapid transition at this point?
I think we are countries that would love tomorrow to transition. The problem we have is we don't have the capacity to develop the technology, and we are therefore dependent on the developed countries to do that. But once that technology is available, there is no real justification for not transitioning as soon as possible. To a large extent, a number of the Pacific Island countries are also already in the process of transitioning. But I think it's a psychological block, I think, David. We continue to be indoctrinated in the use of fossil fuels, okay? But the capacity and the availability of the sun is huge. Its ability to generate the kind of energy that we need, more than we need, is available. We just have to apply ourselves and secure the technology to be able to do that. In the longer term, it's a much more economic and more effective, more efficient way to do it.
Yeah. Anote, thank you very much for a very brief but very rich discussion as usual. It's always my greatest pleasure to have a dialogue with you. And I really look forward to doing more. I should let you know that at the Ramphal Institute, we have restarted discussions with the Malta Small Island States, Global Pacific Alliance, led by Kate Brown, and Dr. Kaleem Shah from the Joe Biden School of Public Policy and Administration, to look at how we could reframe and reshape and put forward a new work program for small island states. And I'll certainly be coming back to you to share more information.
Well,
I think that is a wonderful way to go.
I'm available anytime, David. I'm now locked in and having a lot more time to go fishing, I hope. But it's wonderful to catch up with you, and I'm
It's
so
wonderful
glad that you're working.
to catch up with you. I must take a
Okay,
trip to
David. Hopefully,
Kiribati.
we'll see you in our part of the world one day.
Yes, I will certainly. That's what I was going to say. I'm
I look
certainly
forward to
going
that.
have it on my list to make it to Kiribati. Thanks, Anote, and we'll chat again very soon.
Do that. Okay. Lovely. Okay.
Thanks.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good day.
You too. Bye.
Okay.